Welcome to the PPVG Gamescast. My name is Steve.
Rich.
Mo.
And we are the passionate playing video gamers. In today's episode, we'll discuss our feelings of the Shadow of War being delayed. We'll also talk about the announcement for Need for Speed Payback, and also the announcement to Far Cry 5 being announced and having a release date in February. But first, we're going to continue our E3 coverage. If you've been watching the prior episodes, a few weeks ago we talked about our E3 strategies. We were running the show, how would we run our press conference. Last week we talked about our E3 predictions. Now we are a week away from the big show, from my second Christmas. So today, we're going to answer the question, who has the most pressure to have a successful E3? Which of the 6 companies that are having a press conference or a spotlight, it's not a fucking conference, fucking bullshit, should have a fucking conference this year? So 5 conferences and Nintendo having their spotlight. Which one of the 6 do you think has the most pressure to have a successful E3? Starting with you, Mo.
I would say Nintendo, but they don't have a conference, so apparently they're not worried about it. So I can't really say that.
Can we get over that? A spotlight counts. It's just
marketing.
Spotlight.
It's
marketing and it's training wheels so that they don't really make asses of themselves.
I guess, but
they're still there. It still counts.
Not for me. Then I'm gonna go with Xbox. Bringing out a new system, I think that's pressure enough as it is, and to have to showcase what that system is capable of doing, so they can actually make sales off of that system. I know that Nintendo just had the Switch, but you know, I just don't know what to expect from them on right now.
No one knows what to expect from Nintendo. They just go rogue. They do.
That's the thing.
Games a year. 3 versions of the thing, not including all the color variations. We all know.
We're gonna get Wii U ports for the next 4 years.
As long as it's
nobody played those games.
Exactly.
That's actually a good decision.
No shovelware. Like, I don't care about.
No, some of that stuff was finally moving over to Xbox and PlayStation.
I know.
Lego City Undercover, yeah.
But
so why Xbox? You're going with Xbox. Has the most pressure.
Well, for one, they have this gaming system that's coming out that's going to be a little bit pricey. I feel it's going to be a little bit pricey.
Scorpio, what you predicted? And you reached 700.
I said 7. You guys said 6, right?
Yeah.
Said 5 and 6 with 2 SKUs around there.
Yeah.
I think 6 is better, but yeah.
You know, they want to showcase what their 4K is and the capabilities of what this machine can actually do.
On HD TVs.
On
it's going to look glorious how that's going to look.
Well, I mean, they have to find a way to show it off, so I think that's already pressure enough. And then trying to find games to announce, like, we don't have a for sure list of what they're going to announce. We have, you know, rumors and thoughts and so forth. It's nothing set in stone. So, I mean, that's pressure enough. Well, I think they'll do a great job in trying to show it off, but, you know, I think they have the most pressure.
That's huge pressure. Again, with Scorpio, of how the Xbox One was a fucking debacle.
Yeah.
Of how they announced that and showed it. Sunday is going to be huge for Microsoft and for Scorpio of what narrative they're going to take with this. Again, they've been sticking it's not a next generation. They've been saying that. Hopefully they don't. Well, hopefully I hope it is next gen, but I'm actually with Rich. They've been saying this for a year. This is not next gen. This is just 4K for this hardcore niche market.
Right, for the niche market. So, and they have to appeal to this market. So
correct.
If they fail, I don't know how that hit's going to be taken. I mean, I don't know what could happen from there. It just, that's why I feel like they have the most pressure. It's them trying to come back from something that was already wrong.
Because it's taken them 4 years to rebound, or I would say 3 years that rebound from Xbox One.
Yeah.
They've been doing the last year.
They probably had the most momentum previous generation, so.
Going in.
So I'm going to say Xbox.
Right? Xbox having the most pressure. What about you, Rich?
I agree completely. There's too many variables, too many unknowns. Whether it is next gen like you're hoping, or you know what I think it is, it's the in between step. We don't know anything about what's going on in the Xbox One, let alone the Scorpio. We have no idea other than
Crackdown, Sea of Thieves. Yeah.
We don't know. Is that a Scorpio exclusive? Is that for one? Sure. Do we have release dates? Do we have release windows? Do we have any kind of
2018?
You can say that about everything. Exactly. It's like the Green Lantern movie. It's going to be in 2021 now. No, there's too many variables. There's too much stuff that isn't known about the current stuff, other than your annual series and your big AAA vendors, third-party vendors, your Need for Speeds and Assassin's Creed and Madden, all that stuff is going to be covered. But what is Microsoft really doing that Sony and Nintendo aren't? That's what they need to answer.
Yeah.
And they need to basically say, what have I been doing for the last 18 months? Because they've, as Mo has brought up numerous times, they've been absent. They've been on vacation, it looks like.
Same thing with Nintendo. But Nintendo's been absent the last 4 years.
Yeah, but that's why I feel like, okay, with what they're quickly, putting out there, I don't feel like Nintendo has an urgency, for the Switch. I don't feel that there's an urgency need to fill gaming or to even support some of the people that actually already bought into the Switch. And you got people out there, it's like, oh, buy the Switch for Zelda. Like I said, what comes after that? I need to know. I want to know. I didn't buy one just for Zelda. Zelda's a great game.
Yeah.
I play it over and over and over again.
Monster Hunters.
That game I am getting.
When?
Guilty.
Yeah.
When do you get that?
Yeah, exactly. When is it coming
2018, Mo. 2018, bro.
See, I thought you guys were going to go through the whole list. And, we got Pokemon that's on the Virtual Console now. We got Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 that's not available on any Nintendo systems. I mean,
look,
they're killing it right now.
I have no hate against anybody that likes Pokemon or anything. It's just not my thing.
I don't either. I want you to be able to play your game. I just don't know why you want to play a game that's 7 years old or one that's 15 years old. They won't let you play it. I don't get that.
If Monster Hunter was me going around with a huge ass sword cutting Pokemon down, I'd play the fuck out of it.
Wow.
Sounds like a great crossover.
Sorry,
Monster Hunter and Pokemon, you hunt down Pokemon?
Yeah. Instead of capturing them, you just fucking slaughter the shit out of them.
How do you get them into the Pokeball after you chop their heads off, though? That's just sad as you, scoop it up.
The Pokeball's a grenade.
Like-
That's all it is. It's not even to capture them. It's just to see who can put their heads in.
You turn this whole thing dark. You're one of those believers in the whole war narrative, aren't you?
Like
all
I
the adults died in the war, and that's why the kids are training with Pokemon.
Like I
Next
said,
war.
I don't deal in fuckery.
Jesus.
God damn.
Anyways,
So why do all the nurses and all the cops look similar? Like, are they clones or are they sisters or? Never mind.
I don't want to answer that.
He's taking the fifth one.
Yeah.
He's taking the fifth. So I'm going to go through each of them, see which company has the pressure. So EA, I think their main pressure is Battlefront 2. That is their conference of pressure of selling it. This is a single-player campaign. It's not a shoe-in 2-hour bullshit just to put in there. They have the pressure of selling what the single-player campaign is, and it's legit for gamers. Mm-hmm. For Bethesda, we can assume Wolfenstein will be announced. That probably has the most mystery of who knows what they're going to announce. And last year they did show off VR, so they'll see if that is legit. I don't really know how much pressure would be on Bethesda. They're really an hour-long
I feel like
press
they're
conferences.
just coasting. Everything's cool with them.
Which it should be.
Yeah, right? They're just in
bring
chill
out
mode.
great games. One great game a year.
Yeah, the only thing we got from Wolfenstein was the title, which was the Colossus or the Colossal or whatever it's called.
I'm not
I
sure.
don't even know.
I think it's like the Colossal. Don't quote me on that. I just whatever I've been reading.
Because last year they had Doom and Dishonored 2, so there's
Yeah.
come out 2 great games year before they fall out. Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed. I think they have huge pressure. Taking the 2 years off, they need to show the 2 years was worth it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Yeah.
Or, this might be going overboard, but if this Assassin's Creed doesn't work, this could be the beginning of the end of the series. Which, you probably thought that was, 2 years ago? The beginning of the end?
Yeah. No, but I agree with you. This is where it would be a clear indicator.
Yeah.
If they do not grab that mind share back that they've lost over the last 2 titles, then they're in trouble with that.
Then it just keeps
And
going.
I don't want that to happen. Again, I'm the doom speaker here, but I'm warning that there's a cliff. Don't go over the cliff is why I'm so adamant about my opinion. It's like Nintendo. I love Nintendo. I want to be a customer. They're doing things that make me not want to be a customer. I don't fault you for liking Nintendo. I fault them for not catering to people that want to like Nintendo. That's the problem. So I don't want Assassin's Creed to go away, but there are glaring problems, and from one of their fanboys, I'm telling you, there's some serious issues with that game of how boring the story can be, how repetitive the game mechanics are, how bad the graphics have been implemented some of the time, and how bad the marketing's been for the last. They kind of fixed it with Syndicate.
Yeah.
But people weren't playing it like they were because Unity fucked it up so badly. So
because they thought it was going to be the same thing as Unity was.
and they need to rebound from that. And 2 years off and calling it Origins, and they're going to focus on Egypt, which has been a fan favorite. Please show us this. They got a chance to turn it around, but if the story's not there or if the game is boring, if it's just more of the same, Who cares?
They dropped the ball.
Well, that's
We're
when
gonna hear Mass Effect, Assassin's Creed on hiatus.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
it's like Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs 2 was firing on all cylinders from what that game was supposed to be with the first one. Finally got it, but you pissed everybody off with the first one so much that people didn't know. That's one of the reasons why I picked it for my game of the year last year is I want you to know that that's a game you should try out. You might have missed it because and rightfully so, that game it wasn't garbage, but it wasn't what we were all sold on.
But it's always the second game. Like Assassin's Creed 2 was what the promise of Assassin's Creed
Yes,
1 was
that's
supposed
true,
to be. Watch Dogs 2 was which I enjoyed Assassin's Creed, the first one, what it was. Again, they had some great potential.
Yeah.
But they do know how to market that. Like they could make a whole sea combat game based on what they did in 3, where they introduced the ships, and have that be an element that's in a bigger game, and then spin it off into its own title. And that's where I think that they should try out that proof of concept kind of stuff instead of giving us the whole, the developer's kit. I want the finished, polished game with all the good voiceover and graphics, not the, hey, don't worry, you're paying full price and I want you to get the season pass and play the multiplayer, and if it's not there, I'm not going to support it. But if you play this crappy version, don't worry, in 3 years I'm going to give you something worth playing. That's not a good business model.
well, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I held off so long on Syndicate, because after Unity, I was like, I don't know, and then I bought Syndicate on sale, and I was like, shit, I wish I would have bought this sooner. I really liked it. I enjoyed Syndicate. I like the storyline. So, I mean, I bought it on sale for $10.
There we go.
And that was like everything with the DLCs and everything. So,
But Ubisoft has a lot of pressure to deliver on Assassin's Creed, to show them 2 years was worth it. We have the goods. Assassin's Creed is back. Sony, I believe, has a lot of pressure for their VR. And again, I'm a huge VR fan, but I have no idea what I'm going to buy next. I got Farpoint. I just beat it over the weekend. I loved it. I really enjoyed it. And it's pretty crazy of what you can do in that game for a first-person shooter in the virtual reality world. But what am I going to buy? What's next? So they have the pressure as in, great, you bought it in October. We just announced we sold over 1 million. It's a success. We're doing well. But now are you going to continue that support? I think they will, but there's a lot of pressure of them showing that their games, they're fine with the games. Like, we just went over the lineup. They have fucking like 15 games. Yeah. So they're great. They're the opposite of Microsoft. And when Microsoft, hopefully they pull out their big guns. This is what we've been doing the last 2 years. Sony, they showed us what they're doing. Great. Next year and a half is going to be fantastic.
yeah. Yep. I think they'll be all right. I know the one thing that I was noticed, I did send you guys that text about they're actually getting third-party requests and support for VR, which, like that three-person co-op they want to use the Farpoint gun.
Yeah.
And that's just out of nowhere. They said, hey, we would like to utilize the Sony VR headset. Sony said, yeah, let's do this. And they're going on all three, like the Vive and the... what's the other one? The Oculus. And Sony was the third one, and Sony okayed it. So there's no title yet. It was just, that's the game that they're building. It's a third-person co-op online for you to do a whole story-based mission thing, which sounds awesome. And they're giving the okay to other publishers. Cool. That's third-party support for VR. So hopefully they fire on all cylinders and get that going for you.
And I became a believer in first-person shooter in VR, where in Farpoint, I'm like hiding behind a rock. So I'm hiding behind a rock, I can duck, and I get low, and there's someone on the other side of the rock. So I can grab the gun, put it over, and shoot him over the rock with the gun. I was like, holy shit.
That's impressive.
This is fucking amazing. Where I can hide behind the rock, put my gun like this, and shoot down and kill him.
That's impressive.
Because they can sense it. It's over. I'm like, fucking amazing.
Sold.
Yeah. And I'm ducking behind, they can't shoot, and they just go over like, holy shit. That was great. Great experience.
That's awesome.
So Microsoft, we already talked about the pressure of the Scorpio. They need to deliver the goods, and hopefully they learn from their past mistakes. Because like what you said, if they fuck this up again, is it going to cost them another 3 years?
Yeah, like who knows?
Wait until the next Xbox. But then after that, you might go like, fuck you guys. You burned me twice. I'm going.
That could be my Nintendo moment where I'm like, you guys gave up, so I'm going somewhere else.
I believe in Phil Spencer. I might have too much faith in him, but I love what he's done the last few years with Xbox and the direction. But now it's time to deliver.
Yeah.
You've been building up. Now it's time to deliver on all these games, and we'll see. But I think the one with the most pressure is Nintendo. I read a rumor today. I hope it's not true. It's a rumor, has not been confirmed, that their little spotlight briefing is 30 minutes.
Oh no.
It was a rumor, not confirmed. Who knows? But I read that as a rumor, so it's going to be around 30 minutes, and that is fucking bullshit if that's true. I'm not going to get upset yet until it actually happens next Tuesday.
22 minutes is Mario running through a
I
field.
don't-
Look how big the world is. There's no enemies. There's nothing going on but grass.
It's funny, they just made a collage and put it on fast forward, and then for the mid section, it's just Mario doing everything.
Yeah.
Or them getting
And
up.
then they fast forward to all the games that they already have.
Yeah. Rich and I went to the Video Game Awards 3 years ago. It was here in Las Vegas, and that was what they showed of Legend of Zelda. Was about 2.5 minutes of just Zelda just on a horse through the field.
He was talking about blades of grass, and we were like, does
Yeah.
he swing his sword?
It took me
Anything
about.
happen?
I was soft. I was flaccid for a week. I could not get hard. That was so turned off
That's not true.
by that. Just going through. But Nintendo, they've been quiet for 4 years. The last 2 years of the Wii U, they quit on it. You know, again, 2 games a year, if that was, it's bullshit. And now they have Zelda, they have Mario Kart, they have June is ARMS, July is Splatoon, September is the Pokemon, which was the Wii U game they're putting on the Switch. Assume Mario is November, but they now have to deliver the goods. I'm with Microsoft and Nintendo, both have to deliver what is going to happen for the next year and a half. Like we've been building, we've been making these games, but Nintendo even more should come out of the gate, give me a fucking hour long, not 30-minute bullshit, hour long, and not 22 minutes
I
of
told you how
Mario
they get
Odyssey.
That's how you get to an hour. So you have 20 minutes of running through a field.
Mario jumping on his cat.
Listen, if it's 22 minutes or if it's 30 minutes or if it's an hour, if it's jam-packed with info, great.
Yeah.
But if it's 4 hours of basically the same 3 titles being mentioned...
It's called Treehouse.
I don't want that shit.
Fuck me.
But Nintendo has the most pressure. They have this momentum from the Switch. They now have to keep that momentum, as in, you bought a Switch, this is what's going to happen for 2018. This is what all of our studios have been making the last 3 years. If they don't, they're in some deep trouble.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
They're going to sell Switches. They're going to sell
they're gonna
Switches.
sell Switches.
But to the level that they want, great, you're going to sell 13 million Switch. And you might get to 15, 20.
Yeah. That's all they care about.
But to get to that 40 million, they have Pokemon with diverse, but that 40 million, to get those hardcore gamers back.
No, you made the point last episode or the one before. They want, or you consider them a secondary machine. They're not your primary gaming console. They're a nice little
But
add-on.
I want you to buy as a secondary.
Which was my argument, but I don't think that that's their mindset. They just want to grind it out.
And that's why, like, and I said that last week, as in, I cannot truly believe and convince you to buy a Switch as a secondary console right now.
Yeah.
I cannot, or I can argue that for 1 minute, and then I lose.
Yeah, because they can't be the primary, which is something.
Yeah, they're not the primary,
Yeah.
but give you, like, here's the list of games, Rich. This is, oh, look at these 10 amazing, it's a Nintendo game, secondary.
Yeah.
Look
And
at
when
these
they
10
have
games.
a group of 10, I might consider it.
Exactly, and
Right
that's...
now they got a group of 1.
They 1.5 Mario Kart, but that's a Wii U. It's not a new game.
Exactly. That's
Yeah,
why
you can borrow my Wii U and fucking play it. The Wii U gamepad.
no thanks.
But to get to be that secondary console, because right now it's all hardcore Nintendo, which as it should be, but show that this is what we have the next year and a half for the hardcore gamer. We have the casual. You have to have that diverse portfolio, but they need to have that big 3, because right now the owners that have the PS4 and Xbox, I believe the majority of them don't give a shit anymore, because I think they're with you.
I don't think Nintendo wants the hardcore audience. I think they want casuals and their fans. That's all they care about. Because they're healthy that way. They don't have to worry. They get in the news.
It wasn't
they
healthy for the
control
Wii U.
story.
That's the problem.
Well, because that's where their fans didn't show up, or the casual audience really didn't, and they had expectations that this is the Wii 2, which was their thinking, but they didn't get that message out, or anybody that heard it misheard it and thought it was another add-on, and then when they were like, "Oh, that's another $300 now. I'm good.
Just
I
the
can play
confusion.
bowling on my existing Wii. I'm good."
Yeah. So I do think the most pressure is on Nintendo to show this is what we've been making the last 3 years. 2017, we're good. But what's after that? I know they only like to talk about what's coming out this year, but they can't do that this year. And I actually looked at like the history of Nintendo, and I know we talked about press conferences, and they've had some pretty piss poor press conferences.
Yeah.
And even the spotlights as well. Like, great, you have one incredible game that you can highlight a year. but like the rest of the spotlight, the rest of the press conference, they can't really sustain that. Like the Wii U, the last press conference with the Wii U was terrible. They ended, oh, Nintendo Land. They showed it in the middle, then at the end, oh, one moment, we're going to show you this. We thought it was going to be a surprise. Nope, more Nintendo Land. Like, that was the end of the Nintendo press conference.
Was I able to use my Mii in that game?
No.
Like I said, they don't care about us. They care about the fans, which is great if you're a fan. But if you're not, that's why I say I don't care.
And give me fucking Mega Man on the Switch, huh? What the fuck? Give me Mega Man.
I already told you. It's going to be available on the Virtual Console. Each game, $15 download. You can get all 4 of those games.
The ones I have not beat. 7, 8, or 10.
See, that's perfect. That's just like Mario Kart. It is for a different system, but you never played it, so it's new to you.
Yeah.
You get Sonic Mania. They laugh at that, but I'm excited for Sonic Mania.
I did actually.
It looks
the customizer and all that kind of stuff.
It looks good.
No, now that we saw the 2D level.
Yeah.
Yeah. When it was that over-the-shoulder shit that we had from the new Sonic.
But it looks good. Like, I'm excited to play it. I'm not going to lie.
So 2017 Nintendo, you're looking good. But the pressure's on to show you what comes after Mario. I think that's something they need to spend at least 15 minutes on. That better not be 15 of the 30. 15 of the hour-long spotlight.
You know 15 minutes is going to be his entrance, and him holding up a Master Sword, walking through smoke, and the translator badly saying, I love Mario! And then...
Yeah. No, I can see it.
Telling you some story about when I was a kid and I watched a leaf in the wind and it made me think of this. And I went to a zoo and I saw a raccoon and then I thought of this. And now here you go. Here's that game that I already announced last year. Not available till 2019. But here you go! That's what they're going to do to you. Just telling you.
Delayed till 2018 fall. Sorry, fellas.
Listen, the physics in the real world are going to be so dire.
But we got you a Star Fox from the Wii U, enhanced version of Star Fox. We got that for you. The Wii U port.
Would you throw that broken Joy-Con at them if they did that?
Like I said, if they fuck up, I'm taking your Joy-Con. I'll throw it at them.
It'll probably be better, actually, if they
port
it.
Yeah.
It won't be on the fucking gamepad bullshit. So, but I agree, Xbox, Scorpio has a lot of pressure. So, Scorpio, Nintendo, the pressure's on you.
Yeah.
But also, what is the most anticipated game that you have for the show? What's your most anticipated game? What are you most excited to see?
For me, it's The Last of Us 2. Just, that's it, hands down. I enjoyed the first one. I played it for years. I play online still. I love what they did. They whatever they incorporated on the online, they revamped it for Uncharted 4 online, and even like the storyline, just everything was perfect for me in that game. So I'm excited to see where they take that.
Do you think we'll get gameplay or cinematic?
I think we'll get a little bit of a both, actually.
They're going to show us some gameplay?
I think that, yeah, because I can see them doing a little bit of, just a segment. It's still not completely ready. I don't see it being ready for quite some time, but I can see them doing a little bit of what it's going to look like. And
well, you have to figure out how you're going to do the kind of cooperative kind of thing, considering Joel's a ghost. So.
Right.
Spoilers.
Jesus. That would be pretty good, though. That's good writing. But, no, I think...
Well, we did write the Assassin's Creed TV show, if you guys remember, way back. When you guys came up, 20 minutes, came up with like 3 seasons of Assassin's Creed already.
We have our lawyers.
Should check that out. One of our previous episodes, earlier episodes, we talked about Assassin's Creed, and Mo and Rich wrote the first 3 seasons with season finale cliffhangers and everything. And that was impressive. And Rich, what's your most anticipated game for E3 this year?
I'm going to cheat a little bit. It's not just one game. It's all the BioWare, because there's a lot of stuff we don't know.
Yeah.
They're apparently contributing to Battlefront, so I want to know what's going on there, because I'm worried that
Montreal, don't fuck this up, please.
That's part of it, too. Listen, this week they're releasing patch 1.08, so like Scott Ryder now can...
Andromeda?
Yeah, can romance Jaal is the big change there. So that's a big thing, that finally you can have a homosexual relationship for the male rider in your squad, where before it was just the sub character. So that's a big thing. But that they also said it's not the final patch, so there's a chance that there might be some DLC to finish the story.
They'll be patching that until the end of time.
No, because if you're tearing apart that studio, I wouldn't be putting resources into it. So maybe it's not as dead as we're all afraid that it is, but. I also want to see, like I was saying with Battlefront, I'm kind of worried that they threw money at it to try to attract us. I want to know if there's actual substance to that, and it's not just. Remember when was it Aaron Paul was doing that Need for Speed thing?
Oh yeah,
where he's just basically doing cutscenes, but there was nothing changed there. I don't want Battlefront, but it has some nice CGI in between. But there's no story. It's just, hey, go fight on this moon for 20 minutes, and then I'm going to show you the next part of the story. I want an actual story. So, and I want to see what the codename Dylan thing is. I'm hoping we get a Dragon Age announcement. So, and maybe
Coach R3.
Hopefully, Pie in the Sky. That's the hopeful one. I don't think it's likely, but
No.
I'd like to hear something. And remember, we're still thinking there's going to be some kind of Star Wars
Yeah.
big announcement.
Battlefront.
So who knows what it's going to be? I'm hoping that's BioWare.
So I'm taking this Anticipate a different route. I'm very excited for Last of Us 2, really excited for Star Wars, so I'm anticipating games I'm not sure I'm buying. So right now my most anticipated game this fall is Shadow of War. That game I cannot wait. That's my number one game that I want to play this fall. So that's not my most anticipated is the two games I have the most question marks that I'm not sure I'm going to buy. So I don't care about seeing more about Destiny 2. I'm already going to buy it so I can say, fuck you, Destiny. I'm already going to buy Shadow of War. I'm already going to buy Mario. I'm already going to buy Call of Duty, so I don't really care about seeing more. I'm already going to buy it. I'll be excited to see about 10 minutes of gameplay, more trailers. But the two games I'm most anticipated to see what they do, first one is Battlefront 2. I want to see the single-player campaign. I'm about 80% sure I'm going to buy that. But if they really fuck up the single-player, I'm going to go, because it's multiplayer. I learned my lesson the first game. I played it for like 5 hours, and I'm like, fuck this. I'm not multiplayer. The second one is Assassin's Creed. So if I had to pick between the two, it would be Assassin's Creed as my most anticipated. Because that's the one with the most question marks, and the one is I am not sure. I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50 if I buy it or not. So I want to anticipate what they do with the Egypt setting, if they're going to sell it to me, if I'm going to buy that or not. Because I have my Assassin's Creed, I've only played the first one, the original. It's the only Assassin's Creed I played. Rich and Mo, they played every single Assassin's Creed, almost every single one.
Not the portables, but yeah.
Yeah, the one on consoles.
Yeah. We played some of the Facebook games.
But the Egypt setting has me excited. So if they sell it, if it looks fantastic, it's variety of gameplay, I'll be buying it. So that's my most anticipated to see what they do with that series.
And if they don't sell you, you got two people here that are gonna.
Well, I've heard the story from Rich. We spent a lot of time at the bar, and he told me the story about all the Assassin's Creed games.
We got two people who are getting it day one, so we can tell you if it's a clusterfuck or not.
Tell me how it is. I might pick it up when it's like $40 or something. Yeah. So those are our feelings of which company has the most pressure to perform at E3 and our most anticipated games. Please let us know in the comments below what your most anticipated game and who you feel has the most pressure to perform at E3.